Hello, Xander and Kate and Kenzie and Blaine and anybody else who's watching. I'm going to read the first chapter of a story today, and the story is about some kittens that are born with wings. Before I read the story, I want to introduce you to my cat. This is Calvin, and he lives with me and Shelly in our house, and he's a very, very shy little kitty, but he likes to get snuggled. He doesn't have any wings. You can see on the back there, no wings. But maybe he would like to listen to the story too. So let's give it a try. We're going to listen to the first chapter, and next week we'll have the second chapter. Catwings by Ursula K. Le Guin. Illustrated by S.D. Schindler. Mrs. Jane Tabby could not explain why all 4 of her children had wings. "I suppose their father was a fly-by-night," the neighbor said, and laughed unpleasantly, sneaking around the dumpster. "Well, maybe they have wings because I dreamed before they were born that I could fly away from this neighborhood," said Mrs. Jane Tabby. "Thelma, your face is dirty. Wash it. Roger, stop hitting James. Harriet, when you purr, you should close your eyes part way and knead me with your front paws. Yes, that's the way. How's the milk this morning, children?" "Oh, it's very good, Mother. Thank you," they answered happily. They were beautiful children, well brought up, but Mrs. Tabby worried about them secretly. It really was a terrible neighborhood, and getting worse. Car wheels and truck wheels rolling past all day, rubbish and litter, hungry dogs, endless shoes and boots walking, running, stamping, kicking, nowhere safe and quiet, and less to eat. Most of the sparrows had moved away. The rats were fierce and dangerous. The mice were shy and scrawny. So the children's wings were the least of Mrs. Tabby's worries. She washed those silky wings every day, along with chins and paws and tails, and wondered about them now and then, but she worked too hard finding food and bringing up the family to think much about things she didn't understand. But when the huge dog chased little Harriet and cornered her behind the garbage can, lunging at her with open white-toothed jaws, and Harriet with one desperate mew flew straight up into the air and over the dog's staring head and lighted on a rooftop, then Mrs. Tabby understood. The dog went off growling, its tail between its legs. "Come down now, Harriet," her mother called. "Children, come here, please, all of you." They all came back to the dumpster. Harriet was still trembling. The others all purred with her till she was calm, and then Mrs. Jane Tabby said, "Children, I dreamed a dream before you were born, and I see now what it meant. This is not a good place to grow up in, and you have wings to fly from it. I want you to do that. I know you've been practicing. I saw James flying across the alley last night, and yes, I saw you doing nosedives too, Roger. I think you're ready. I want you to have a good dinner and fly away, far away." "But, Mother," said Thelma, and burst into tears. "I have no wish to leave," said Mrs. Tabby quietly. "My work is here. Mr. Tom Jones proposed to me last night, and I intend to accept him. I don't want you children underfoot." All the children wept, but they knew that that is the way it must be in cat families. They were proud, too, that their mother trusted them to look after themselves. So all together they had a good dinner from the garbage can that the dog had knocked over. Then Thelma, Roger, James, and Harriet purred good-bye to their dear mother, and one after another they spread their wings and flew up over the alley, over the roofs, away. Mrs. Jane Tabby watched them. Her heart was full of fear and pride. "They are remarkable children, Jane," said Mr. Tom Jones in his soft, deep voice. "Ours will be remarkable too, Tom," said Mrs. Tabby. So what did you think about that? What did you think, Calvin? Would it be fun to be able to fly? I think he would like to be able to fly. What do you think is going to happen to those 4 little kittens when they fly away? Do you think they'll find a better neighborhood to live in? Do you think they'll miss their mom? What do you think is going to happen? Well, come back next week and find out what happens in chapter 2.